Welcome everyone, this is Acid Roots and we're here to talk about White Zombie's album Astro-Creep 2000. So this is their latest record apart from a remix album that came out the next year, and pretty much their latest works except for a song on the Beavis and Butthead soundtrack to their movie. So with this is kind of Rob Zombie. If you know who he is, he's known for kind of making almost electronic / rock music, so he kind of blurs the lines between the two of those, and it's actually a pretty clever rendition, and it's about as exciting as music can get at times. So this is something, you know, if rock is becoming boring and you want a jolt of energy in there, I definitely recommend checking out albums like Hellbilly Deluxe and a few other ones by Rob Zombie. I do not know him as well, but I'm attempting to find more by some of the works that he's done, but this also stretches into the early 90s and not just into the future like the rest of his albums have done. So this is when he was a group, and it's White Zombie. And so as far as what I thought of this record, it's well put together, but I think a lot of people are going to know the song More Human Than Human, and I think in a lot of ways that may be the only song that a lot of folks remember. It definitely was one of White Zombie's biggest songs, but the answer is to me, you know, if you're going to support someone, you have to support all of the songs that were released to radio. So that's definitely an important part. There were 3 that were dropped from this project, but they just did not get as much attention. I will say that they do not have as much, they don't have the super pizzazz that More Human Than Human has, but they're not bad rock songs. They just kind of blend in a little bit more than they actually should. But like Supercharger Heaven is a great song. It's just like listening to some of the other rock albums that you do. Just give, you know, obviously going for More Human Than Human, give a few of the other songs a shot also. But I did like most of this album, so out of 11 songs, I really liked 8, and that should show you what exactly this is. So most of this, unfortunately, there's not really another song like More Human Than Human, but it's kind of, I think that was a, you know, kind of a prelude to what they were getting ready to do or would have done. And I think Grease Paint and Monkey Brains would have been another one. That one's a little bit haunting itself. The rest of them are pretty raw metal, and I think you'll wind up liking it. So as far as the songs that I liked, basically every song except for El Phantasmo and then the Blood, Milk, and Sky songs are the only 2 songs I really didn't like on this project. And then the only other one is the song that I was on the fence about was Real Solution number 9. But we're going to talk about a few of these. Look up the information on this album to find out the singles. And I'm going to say Grease Paint and Monkey Brains is a good one. That one is not as gnarly, but it still has a great feel to it. I feel like the Electric Head songs are really good, both of which part 1 and part 2 are great songs to turn to. They keep the pace going, and really, yeah, I mean, it's just good rock right there. I'm trying to think. iZombie and Blur the Technicolor are a few extra ones that have, you know, great backgrounds in them or great instruments in it. These keep the energy going, but the only thing you may note is you may think that Rob Zombie kind of refined his sound a bit better in the future releases. But it's good for what it is. Don't think that I'm actually complaining, because it's really not much of a complaint. This album will get a 10. But I think the biggest complaint, if you can call one, on this album is simply that the album did not get more promotion than it did. You know, that it's not really promotion, but it did not get more attention. That's the right word. It could have used more attention, and definitely, yeah, it just, for the quality of what it was, it could have used a lot more attention, and that's kind of due to the fact of people not liking some of the songs that were released. So just know that there's more good stuff on here. Don't go off popular opinion and think that this album is not as good when it has the songs on there. So the only other one I want to talk about is Real Solution number 9. That one does not have as much guitar on it, but go for it and listen to it. That's a whole nother one right there. So this album will get a 10 because I liked 8 out of 11 or 9 out of 11. And the only thing left, the future White Zombie has broken up. Rob Zombie makes records. He actually released a record this year. And the social score, which I'm going to give this album, as far as the social score, which means how well it plays around you and a group of friends, I'm going to give it a 9, mainly because I feel like, you know, it's difficult in the 90s to kind of base future hits, because back then people just bought the record if there was one good hit on there. So obviously you may think it may not have needed it, but it's just interesting to note that 20 years ago there was actually some extra stuff on the project. That's the whole thing, is there's more to talk about than just the first reason you think when you think of this project. And that's like the main thing I want to make clear, is looking into some of that. That's more of the importance of my channel, is that sort of thing. So, but it is worth it, and it was fun to me. I do appreciate the songs. Yeah, so that about wraps things up. Can this album be topped? The answer is no. So I give this album a 10 and a 9 social.